In the chaotic lead-up to King Charles's 2023 coronation, you'd be forgiven for thinking the entire event hinged on two people who had already walked away from the system altogether. Because, let's be honest, the coronation wasn't about crowns, history, or continuity. It was about one obsessive question screamed endlessly by royal commentators, columnists, and online mobs alike. Will Harry come? Will Meghan come? She better not come. They must bring the kids. No, not like that. Meghan isn't welcome. Archie is welcome. Only Archie. No balcony, definitely no Meghan. It was unhinged, a full-blown moral panic disguised as tradition. And in the end, the reality was devastatingly boring. Harry showed up alone, stayed less than 24 hours, attended the ceremony, skipped the theatrics, and left while his father waved stiffly from the balcony. Meghan stayed home in California, completely unbothered. And that is what truly enraged them. Because the real crime wasn't Meghan attending. It was Meghan not caring. Now, fast forward 3 years, and nothing has changed, except the desperation has gotten louder. Here we are again, watching the same people obsessively spiralling over the mere possibility that Meghan might return to the UK this summer for the Invictus Games. 1 year to go events in Birmingham. Not a royal event, not a palace event, not a balcony moment. A veterans event. Meghan hasn't stepped foot on the Isle of Saltines since September 2022. And yet, for the next several months, we are guaranteed one thing: endless forecasting. What will she wear? What will she say? Will she acknowledge Kate? Will she ignore William? Will she dare exist within UK Wi-Fi range? British columnists are already drafting fan fiction like it's a full-time job. Which brings us to Shane Watson's recent Times column, a rare moment of accidental honesty wrapped in snark. Beneath the Sussex tax resentment, Watson let the truth slip. William and Kate are panicking. Not annoyed, not mildly concerned. Panicking. Watson practically admits that the Wales' decision to hire a crisis manager has everything to do with the Sussexes' looming presence. Because, as he writes, Meghan wouldn't return as a contrite exile, she'd return as something far more threatening. A Californian business elite, wealthy, successful, unbothered, flying the flag of mindful wealth and independence. And nothing terrifies the Waleses more than that, because no one is more enraged by the Sussexes' success than William and Kate. Not the press, not the palace, them. Watson even jokes that the palace fixer, let's call her Liza Bulletproof Sunshine, is currently wargaming every possible Sussex scenario. Translation? The panic room is open. The spreadsheets are sweating. And yes, that's almost certainly why William hired a crisis manager in the first place. Harry's coming. Meghan might come. And suddenly everything feels unstable. The irony. The Sussexes don't even need to do anything. Simply ignoring William and Kate would be enough to send them spiralling. And if Meghan does show up, well, the real nightmare isn't headlines. It's witnessing the genuine respect and affection that Invictus veterans and their families have for Harry and Meghan. That kind of love, honestly, can't be briefed, can't be staged, can't be copied. No amount of carols, curated videos, or forced smiles can compete with that. Frankly, the crisis manager might want to hire a therapist, because William needs emotional support more than he needs PR spin. I'll admit, I stopped reading the article when it got to the jam. Yes, the jam, because that's when the mask slipped entirely. The fixation, the resentment, the disbelief that Meghan is thriving. The British press always assumed Harry and Meghan would fail, that they'd crawl back within a year. That's why the royal family imposed a one-year review. That's why they refused Harry's half-in proposal. They were certain the Sussexes needed them. They were wrong, and nothing enrages people more than a woman they tried to destroy who didn't break. The level of hatred and ill-wishing directed at Meghan is honestly staggering. And it's often, disguised as light-hearted banter, cheeky columns, or that old chestnut, just asking questions. But if you read closely, well, it's chilling. This isn't curiosity, it's obsession. It's no wonder Harry and Meghan refused to bring their children to the UK. It's no wonder Meghan won't return without proper security. This isn't normal scrutiny. It's fixation bordering on derangement. And here's the most revealing part of all. Meghan's hypothetical visit is apparently more stressful to William than a disgraced uncle tied to Epstein. Serious family illness, manipulated photos, PR disasters, luxury vacation backlash, or, honestly, years of negative headlines. Let that sink in. Not the scandals, not the chaos, not the collapse of credibility. Meghan. Despite its bitterness, Watson's piece admits something crucial. Meghan is a bona fide success. She moves with power. She operates independently. She does not need the British royal family, and frankly, never did. And that's why her mere presence sends shockwaves through the system. She doesn't beg, she doesn't explain, she doesn't perform remorse. She lives rent-free in their heads. Watching British journalists obsess over Meghan is honestly like observing a strange codependent relationship. Two addicts, the press and their audience, feeding each other a mutual fixation, attributing near supernatural powers to a woman simply because they can't stop thinking about her. The language gives it away. Come on, it's just a bit of fun. You hate her too, right? As an American living in the UK, I'll be honest, this doesn't read as normal. It reads as unhealthy. It sounds paranoid. It sounds like a culture desperately clinging to outrage because, well, it has nothing else left to say. Meghan doesn't need to return to Britain to expose the cracks. They're already showing. And the real drama? It's not whether Meghan comes back. It's how completely undone they are at the thought that she might. Well, squaddies, my take in a nutshell is that I'm pretty used to British press lies, but sometimes it still amazes when they shamelessly say something is blue and we all see it's red. The little comments about Meghan copying Kate, how Meghan tries to upstage Kate, or how nature is Kate's thing, but Meghan likes it too. It's just one of those times. Forget the fact that Kate's entire wardrobe is based off a Meghan mood board she created, or that she intentionally schedules events on days it's been announced Meghan has a premiere or event. What truly speaks to how Kate does nothing but obsess over Meghan is that she and her team filmed a series of nonsensical seasonal commercials in an embarrassing attempt to compete with Meghan's show With Love, Meghan. Meghan has a multi-million-dollar business, a non-profit, and a production company to run. She's not concerning herself over a woman who spends her time trying to stay cancer-free by endlessly vacationing and calling in sick to her part-time job. And, checking my popcorn stock in the pantry, what an unhinged shit show this will be if Meghan decides to go. I believe they're madly in love with her, and they don't know how to process it because they're too racist, sexist, and royalist to be able to compute that. Their brains have exploded. Period.